Hey friends, it's Walter with a second card for this month that I created using my STAMPlorations Paper Products subscription. This pop art inspired card is a lot of fun, full of bright colors, and so easy to create. I began by selecting one of the junk journal collage card fronts, adding some black marker along the sides to make it blend in with the black card stock used for the base, and adhering it down onto the base. I then took a page of the Analog Grunge paper, tore a side piece off of it, added on some grunge, especially along where that torn paper look is, to darken it up, and then adhered that down onto my card. The coloring is really the most fun of creating this card. I chose one of the Retro People ATC cards and just started to color it in using my alcohol markers. As you can see, I'm not paying much attention to shading or anything like that to add detail onto this ATC, because since it's pop art, it's just supposed to be uniformly colored and bright. So it's really easy to color and not have to worry about shading and details. I moved around coloring skin and hair first, then moved into some of the other pieces like her hat and her clothing, and the pillow that his head is resting on, and the guitar, even adding in some silver elements onto the guitar where the adjusting tuning knobs, maybe that's what they're called, are located. So really, it was just a lot of fun to be able to color, use bright colors, and not even have to think about what direction is the light coming from, because this is just meant to be fun, whimsical, and bright. You can use whatever colors you would like in coloring in the image. I decided to go with colors that I thought that an Andy Warhol pop art piece might have, and that was really my guiding inspiration for it. And then filling in the background with a nice shade of blue really just made me think of the open sky and a nice color to help make the rest of the colors in the image pop. Once finished coloring, I added a layer of 3D gloss gel over the card with a palette knife, and the purpose of this is to help make it bright and kind of give it that glossy look, as well as really help those colors pop even more. And I think you'll see once it's dry that the colors really do pop more having this medium on there. Look at how gorgeous that is. I then moved into coloring one of the Color Me Blooms colorable ephemera pieces from my subscription. And once again, it's not so much about focusing on shading or layers of color. It's really just about making this stand out in a really bright way. And so I did my leaves using 2 shades of green, just to add some natural gradation amongst the leaf. And then once done with the green, I went in with a light yellow. That's a little tip that I do when coloring any of my leaves, is to always go over with a light yellow to help with that gradation and make it pop. I then followed up by putting a few marks with a white gel pen onto the leaves and then smudging those with my finger. That just helps create kind of like those individual veins without making them really stand out too dark or too much. I then moved into coloring my flower. I started with the largest one, and I did go darker in the center, then came in with a little bit of a more medium red, and then went around with a lighter one to finish it off and blend it all together. And I did the same thing with the two smaller flowers as well. You'll see that I do grab a white gel pen to correct where I may have gone out of the line a little bit. And that's bound to happen when coloring with alcohol markers on smaller pieces. And I find that the white gel pen just helps mask it up and finish it. I then went in with a darker yellow and a lighter yellow in the centers of each of those flowers. And I really like the way they look. They're bright and that color just pops. But to add a little bit more of a pop, I grabbed a shimmer pen and painted on some shimmer on top of all aspects of the leaves and flowers as well. And you'll see when it dries that it just adds that nice little extra pop to them. And then to really make the color pop, I wanted to get rid of the white along the outside of the ephemera piece. And I thought that black would be good because one, it's dark and would really make the colors pop, and two, it would blend in with the black on the card base. So I went around and colored that in. I then reached for a scrap piece of pink cardstock and the Clustered Hearts Cleplorations die from Stammplorations and cut out the hearts in pink and then assembled them onto a piece of black cardstock. Once done inserting each of those pieces in, I used my detail scissors to fussy cut the heart structure. I left just a small bit of black around the edge to create a nice border and again to help this pink color pop even more and coordinate in with that overall card design. If you don't like fussy cutting, you could skip this, or you could also, if you're not comfortable with leaving a border, just cut it right down to the pink. Once that was cut out, I picked a sentiment from the A Full Heart stamp set. In this case, I chose My Life Would Suck Without You and stamped it onto the cluster of hearts to act as my sentiment piece. I then laid the pieces down to decide on the layout and where I would want them, and started to assemble. I put some double-sided tape onto the back of the ATC card and set that down at an angle because I thought that would be really fun. I then added some double-sided foam tape strips to the back of my floral and had that down the bottom as like a border at the bottom of the card panel. And then put some double-sided foam tape strips onto the back of my sentiment strip and added that onto the card as well. I then added a few dots of glue onto the card and put a clear sparkly gem on top of each dot to finish off the design. And here we go, our finished pop art card. Very retro. I absolutely love the way that this this ATC portion turned out. The coloring with the bright colors, as well as then putting that 3D texture glaze over it, just adds that bit of shine to really make it pop and really makes those colors pop, set against that nice backdrop of the collage junk journal card and the analog digital paper. Then we have our floral that's colored very pop-like with the reds and the greens, very bright. Added that shimmer pin on top of it, colored around the edges and in the center pieces with black, just so that there's no white showing. And then, of course, our sentiment, My Life Would Suck Without You. stamped onto the cutout clustered hearts that I then glued down onto black paper and cut a little border around. I just think it's a lot of fun. I think it would be a great card for someone to give to their special someone. So I really hope you enjoyed this time that we had together today. I look forward to seeing you again next month for more creations using a new month's STAMPlorations Paper Goods Subscription. Until then, be well. Use code STAMPWalter20 to save.